Welcome everyone to Achievement Hunting 101. We are at level 302. Wow, that was some nice new music, Koosh.
Is it playing right now?
Is it playing right now? Yeah.
Is it still playing? Must be playing right now. If you're watching in the live chat, KooshMoose is right above me. And he's waving.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing I think he's doing gang signs. Wow.
Gang signs.
Nice, yes. You picked that up on the beach.
How we doing, Frederick? Lots of gang signs.
Yo, there's the Old Bay crew. OBC.
You know which farm you're from.
OBK.
What goldfish you eat?
Oh, that lovely voice is Wild West 08. What's up?
What's going on, guys? Congratulations
from me
on 300.
Oh, you got us balloons?
I got you balloons just for you, El. Congratulations. You made it 300.
Aww. Now, we had a talk a few episodes ago about helium, right?
We did.
So are you able to mail those to me and then the helium will stay in them?
They probably would if I could find a big enough box for it.
All right, you find a box, you send me the video game of your choice, a sandwich, and the balloons, and we'll call it a day. All right?
I mean, if I send you a Subway, it's definitely going to be
send me an actual
still good
Subway
by that time.
Exactly. The shelf life.
And I'll send you a Subway token from New York, from the days of yore.
Perfect.
Oh, and joining us this week as a special guest, he's been very quiet. He's probably watching Star Trek. He's winking. He's Proulx. Hey, Proulx, thanks for joining us.
Oh, hey, thanks. Thanks for having me back again. It's fun to be here.
Proulx is in the deepest, darkest basement that he could find with one lamp and one microphone.
This is the top level of my house. I am 2 stories above the ground, but that's okay. That's fine.
He only is able to come out whenever you ask him to be on the show.
That's right.
They let him out.
You still have to throw the FBI off, right?
Just because the blinds are closed doesn't mean that I live in the basement.
Right. Okay.
He only has enough electricity to power up his 17 Xboxes. And if you're lucky enough to have Proulx as a favorite on Xbox, you see Proulx is now online on 500 times in a row because he's got to put them all on at the same time. I think it's a practical joke, and I keep falling for it. And I keep threatening to remove him from a favorite, but I never do.
And yet here I am.
I still love you.
I know.
Now, Proulx requested this time. He wanted to talk about Fallout. I thought he meant Fallout Boy, but that's my favorite band. I mean, no. Proulx wanted to talk about the TV show. I think it's based on a game or something.
It is. Not a specific game, but a franchise, right? Like a series of games.
I've never played a Fallout game, but I know the show is so popular that people are going back and playing the old games that they've magically become like the #1 played game now.
Number 3.
I also know they broke Fallout 4, right?
Yes.
Broke it, rebroke it, fixed it, broke it again.
So they came out with a new graphic update or a new Series X update, and in doing so, broke all the achievements. Is there anything else they broke? Mods?
Yes, mods as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, the achievements were broken before the graphic update. For Fallout 4, at least.
Yeah, and they never fixed it?
They fixed it, and then they released the graphic update, and then the mods broke, and saves broke, and other things broke along with it.
I mean, they want all these new people to experience the true Bethesda.
I was just going to say, damn it.
We're back to square one. Yeah. Release date, Bethesda.
Yeah.
We're back to normal. So is 76 the one to play now?
So, so here's the thing, right? I am not a bandwagon, because you just put this on me, but
never.
I'm not a bandwagon fan. First of all, I had played every single Fallout game except 76 up until 2 weeks ago. And the show came out and people loved it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot because I like Fallout. I'm a Fallout fan. And the show, we're 2.5 episodes in or so. my wife and I, and it's good. It's quite good. There's a lot to really like about it. It is the opposite, and I'm not the first to say this, but this is true. It is the opposite of the Halo show, where the Halo show very much does not like Halo, and the Fallout show likes being Fallout. So I will say I was inspired, and I had to sort of halfway convince some of my Friday night crew, which includes Rocker Dude and Ex Povos and Jay Black the Canadian, to all play Fallout 76. So we all hopped in and started playing Fallout 76, and that game is okay. It is an okay game. That's what I have to say about it.
So that one is online.
That is the online sort of Destiny-ish type. Yeah, you can join with a group of 4 or 5 or however many people. Yeah. Persistent world game, I think is what they call it.
Jables in chat says that he suggested it, and you rolled over and just went along with it, even though you know it's a bad game.
No, I it's okay. It's okay. You know what? There's one really terribly frustrating mechanic in the game, and we can move on after this. But there's Fallout's traditionally a very single player heavy game, and even when you party up with all your buddies and you start playing through missions, you'll eventually get to the end of the missions where typically you make some sort of a RPG-ish decision. And how Fallout 76 solves this problem is by having you and each of your teammates go into a separate instance of the ending of the mission, where you don't get to collaborate or play together or anything. You just sort of solve it at the end on your own. So like if you want to kill the bad guys and somebody else wants to save the bad guys, you have to just
collaborate and listen.
Yeah, you stop playing together, which is defeats the purpose of playing a multiplayer game. It is the most frustrating, stupid mechanic. It's like the weakest form of splitting the difference. I hate that.
It's worse than Borderlands.
Don't.
No, you don't have to answer that. We know.
Just don't say that.
What?
It's different than Borderlands, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, it is a game that exists, and it's fine. It's fine.
You're selling it.
Yeah.
So how's the TV show?
It's good. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, right? You don't want to.
No, you don't want spoilers, but so the answer is it's good. Amazon Prime boasts that it had like 8 billion people. I'm sure they added up the people that watched it.
Second most watched show, or is it their first watch? No,
second. Lord of the Rings was first.
It's probably the same 6 people that watched it 100,000 times and then left it on all night.
Shoot, honey, turn off Fallout again, please.
And it got renewed for season 2, right?
Yep.
Funny.
And there's at the very end of the last episode when they killed the bad guy, and then saw all the storylines. They kind of
don't listen to him.
Sneak peek.
Red lies.
Spoiler alert.
Else, yeah.
This is spoiler alert sometime
nice
after. I mean, before.
Did you watch a separate Fallout
based
show?
On... Oh.
No.
So is this based on a general sense of the franchise, or are the games all intertwined to begin with?
No. So, well, the games, they're essentially they just take place in a shared world, right? They're not connected.
Yeah.
There are like some character crossover and some story elements crossover, but it's mostly they just take place independently from each other in different places. And I can't speak for the first 2 Fallouts. I've never played them because they were lame old PC games.
Oh gosh.
But like Fallout 3 took place in DC. Fallout New Vegas obviously took place in Las Vegas, and then Fallout 4 took place in Boston. So the show takes place in Los Angeles. It's the first West Coast, actual coast show. And apparently it's canon, and I kind of sort of believe that because Todd Howard is an executive producer on the show. And like I said, it's very clear from the show itself that it takes the lore very seriously, and it takes like the story elements very seriously. And it like I said, because these stories are different and they don't step on each other's toes, you can sort of have fun and play with it. So it's good. It's. I think it's, again, I'm only 2.5 episodes in. It might shit the bed or whatever, but it's good. It's fun.
I thought it had a good ending. It wraps stuff up, but it also leaves it ready for season 2. So
I knew nothing about Fallout, and I thought the show was great.
You guys are
It seems
quickly
to be the
getting
smartest
top
thing
of my
to do.
list like a Heizo.
Okay. Sounds fun. Seems to be a huge resurgence, right? With this stuff, with the Halo show, Twisted Metal show.
Twisted Metal was fun. I heard season
Maybe
2
other
of Halo's
shows.
better. Sonic.
That's what the Wakapel says, that Halo 2 is very good.
Halo 2, the game? What are you trying to say?
No, the season 2 of the Halo.
Okay, Halo season 2 is what you're saying.
Yes, the Master Chief.
Wakapel's a mobster, apparently, an Italian mobster.
You know, the Halo 2 has
the
Don,
nice to meet you,
the Don Chief, Donna Cordana. So anyone have any exciting news they want to share? Anything cool that they've done lately? We'll go with Wild West. No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I completed a game just for you.
Oh, games.
Remember those?
I did remember those. So I guess you want to talk about games and go right into our game showcase. That sounds fun. Who's first? Let's see. I don't know. KooshMoose.
Alrighty. I'd like to talk about this game that you're seeing on the screen right now. And it's called Wreckfest. Now, not breakfast. It's Wreckfest. And this is a demolition derby racer. Now I know what you're saying. Koosh
like the
loves the
PlayStation?
racing games. And you would be correct. I'm not normally a racing
Oh my gosh, it
game
does look like that.
fan.
Oh, there you go. I was like,
It does look like PlayStation 1.
Yeah, but the hook here is that there's a lot of destructibility. You are just smashing cars, and it looks great when things break. There are pieces like strewn all over the course, and you will be crashing into them. They do a lot of when you're doing a race. A lot of times they'll have like intersections, so they'll kind of loop back on themselves. So that as you're racing, if you're really far ahead, you have to watch out because you will eventually kind of loop back and then run through the traffic of the people that are behind you, and that can be bad. Sometimes that will cause you to lose your first place. Sometimes that will wreck your car and send you to the back of the line. But the game looks great. This is on Game Pass, and it's a stack. So there is an Xbox achievement list, and there's a PC achievement list. I don't know when these are going to go away. I feel like they've been on for a long time. If only there was a show or a segment where we would talk about how long things have been on Game Pass. Maybe we could go into that a little more. However, so there's two main modes to this game. And mostly that'll be racing or a demolition derby, where it's really just a big wide open area, and your goal is to just place in the top 5 by smashing cars. There is a season element to it, or a tournament element. I think there's like 5 or 6 tournaments that you have to work your way through, and the way they work is there's specifications to get into that tournament. You have to have a car of a certain class. If you don't have a car of that class, you then have to go ahead and buy one with some of the money that you've earned, and you can go ahead and get like a B class or C class or whatever. So you can't just go in there with a school bus and wreck house. Sometimes you can, but some races will say, oh, it's got to be this type of car or this type of car. So as you're just kind of grinding away at it, and that's how I played this game for the most part. I didn't really have the sound on because I was editing a podcast. I said, well, you know what? I need to be working on this thing. Let me just go ahead and play this. And I just was grinding through races, and I was doing demolition derbies, and I was having a great time, just smashing everything up. As far as the achievements go, so is it a simulation game? Absolutely not. It is way more on the arcadey side of things. So if you fall on the arcade side of your racing, I love how he's running. You're watching the video. This guy's just totally going up against traffic and just running through everybody. It's great. If you if you're one of those simulation people, you may not enjoy this. But if you are an arcadey racer type person, this is definitely that type of game, and I can honestly recommend it for that. As far as the achievements go, you'll want to watch out for a couple online things, and you'll want to knock those out ahead of time. They are for winning one race and for winning 20 races online. Now, when it first came out, that was something you had to do online. They added a private match sometimes, a month or two, I don't know, after the game was out. It's now possible to boost all of your all of your online wins in that private match. So you just get a friend, you bring that friend in, you take turns winning, and you can even play like really short races, like one lap, just get your lap done, and then just go again. So in about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes, one person can be done, I think is what I saw. Now, I did this a long time ago with Elroy. He was looking for someone to help him boost for G-Task, I think like 2 G-Tasks ago. So this is not like brand new, but so we did it back then. And then I had not touched the game until I was editing for episode 300. Just going through and doing this. So we knocked out those online achievements. The other achievements are for completing the championships. And there was a game, I believe it was called On Rush. And it had a free weekend, or maybe it was a free game. And I remember that it would allow you to pick different races in the tournaments that you were in, and you could just kind of choose which one you wanted to work on, and that would eventually increase your score for that entire tournament. So I thought, oh, that must be from the same developer, but it's not. However, if you're familiar with On Rush's tournaments, they're just like that. So you'll have a list of like 10 races. Some of them will be challenges. They'll be called challenges. And those are going to be what's required for another achievement for completing all the challenges. You might get that confused with the challenges per race as you're completing each particular event. There'll be challenges like knock out 5 cars or, lead for 2 laps. Those are not the challenges that are related to the achievement. The races called challenge are what you need to knock out for those. So it's actually easier than you might think when you're just looking at it. So you'll need to complete a certain number of those championships. I think there's 5 of them. And then you'll have to do things like getting wrecked 100 times. That's not going to be hard. And you'll get that naturally as you're going along. At the very end of the game, once you've done all your championships, you'll have some more levels to go. You have to get to rank 50. You have to have driven for an hour with a lawnmower. And these are things that you can, yes, there's a lawnmower class where you are riding lawnmowers and trying to destroy other people on lawnmowers.
Don't let Rocker near.
Rocker knows about this. I think pretty sure he's played it. Maybe not.
He's going to fire some lawnmower people.
Yes, that could be. So yeah, and there's other achievements for collecting vehicles, I think 10 and 20. You'll get a couple for reaching rank 25, rank 50, maybe even like a lower one like rank 10. Spending 5 minutes in the air. Once you're done playing all those championships, you'll of course have accrued some of that naturally. And there, for every single one of these, there is a solution that kind of tells you, okay, go into this map, go into this, do this, and you'll have it in like an hour or so. So by the time you're completely done with all the tournaments, you'll have a little bit of grinding left to do for each of these, collectible things or, get so much time or so many minutes in the air or so many credits, and you'll be able to grind those out. So if that's the type of thing that appeals to you, this game is pretty good at it. And if you've been watching the video and you just see the destructibility and the smashability of all these cars, oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's couches. Sometimes you'll be riding a hot rod couch, or I guess technically that's a sports sofa
because of course
two-seater. Yep, and so it's really a crazy game, and I've been having a great time with it.
What's the total time? Because I remember I had some friends that were playing it, and I was watching them, and I thought, oh, this looks really cool. But then when I was looking at the achievements, it felt like there was I don't know, there was something that like held me back from ever starting it. Is it like a really long grind at the end or something?
No, TA says 20 to 25. I've put in 5 hours and I've completed 2 of the championships, and I'm about halfway through the 3rd championship. There are, looks like 5 championships. So I would say I'm about halfway through the championships. And I'm, like I said, I'm at 5 hours. I can't believe that there'd be that much grinding at the end. I think that original estimate is before people found out a way to kind of grind these things out much more quickly.
Are you going to do the stack?
Absolutely. If there's time, I'm focusing on the Xbox version. I will come back around and knock out the PC version. When Elroy needed it for G-Task, we did both stacks. So, of course, because he needs all the Gamerscore in the world. So we did the Xbox version, and then we immediately did the PC version, or vice versa.
Is it kind of like
how many play? Oh,
go ahead.
I'm just curious how many players this game.
Since I did multiplayer with just Elroy, it's just the 2 of us.
Just Elroy.
Yeah, just.
But he's
Elroy.
got like 26 Xboxes that he boosts with, so you never know.
Now, when you're setting up a custom match, you can put up to think like 23 cars. So it's not like 100, but I think it's in the 20-ish range. Now, I don't know if that's true of the online, but you're not going to be playing online for the most part. If you're an achievement hunter, you're just going to be kind of grinding by yourself or playing with maybe one other person and working on these things.
Yeah, this definitely gives me flashbacks of Demolition Derby for the PlayStation.
I remember that. Yeah.
Retro Chief is asking, he says, there's a grind for level 50. And yes, he says, but one of the tracks or settings makes it maybe take about or less than 2 hours to wrap it up. I think it takes, I think the solution said it takes 2 hours from 0, but it'll probably take 45 minutes once you've completed all the championships. And basically, you just go into this one particular map, you make the difficulty really high because you get the most experience for those. And then you just intentionally crash multiple times. That will end the match quickly. You'll get the experience for it, and you just keep going again and again. So you can grind them out very quickly that way to get that XP grind to 50. So, but yeah, if you focus on the championships first, obviously your grind at the end for the coins, the experience, and the crashes and getting crashed will be quicker.
Is this kind of like that? What was that racing game? The Hot Wheels racing game that you talked about before, where you can kind of play for a little bit, put it down, pick it back up, just kind of do a little bit each day, you feel like?
Absolutely, yeah. You can do a little bit and just kind of chip away at it. You don't have to do them in any particular order other than the tournaments. The tournaments have to be unlocked. And the way you unlock a tournament is by getting points in previous tournaments. So I think at one point I had maybe tournament 2 and 3 open. I could be lying. What I'm going to do, and what you should probably do if you're playing this, is just focus on doing the championships in each, the challenges in each championship, because that's required for the achievement. And then you just do the events that are available to you based on which cars you own. And as you complete those, you'll be getting a certain score. If you get first place, you get more points. You get lower down, you get fewer points. So if you'll be collecting points from all those races that you complete in the championship. And once you have enough, the next championship unlocks. And then you can start doing things over there. At some point, you're probably going to have to go back and do everything in all the championships to at least get some score, if not, high score in those in order to unlock the final championships. That's what I would guess. But since I'm only on the 3rd championship, I'm not positive. Not positive that holds true all the way through to the end or not.
Yeah, this is one of those games that's like been on my mind for a while to start. I just never have started it yet, but
yeah, it's been around for a long time. So if you had interest in knocking this out, you should probably chip away at it. Start chipping away, and it's fun. The smashing and the pieces just fly. They're all over the track, and it's fun. It's got kind of like dumpy physics. So like when you hit stuff, like your car just has like these massive shocks. So like everything's kind of smushy and fun. So it's not like super frustrating to get hit. But it is really fun to just to mash cars.
It's not very challenging, it looks like, right?
And why would you want it to be challenging? Like this game, it's really
I didn't
just,
say I want it to be.
No, I wouldn't say it's challenging so far. Once again,
It looks like it has a good amount of completion.
choose your difficulty level. So I put it on easy and just go through and knock that out.
As you should.
Yes, as you should. I don't think it would be fun on the hardest difficulty. I don't know what it'd even be like on normal. When I go into a game like this, for the most part, I'll start on normal, but I've been playing this on easy and I've been having a good time with it.
Do you get like a satisfaction, like if you're in a bad mood or just like wrecking another car, and you get happy?
I do.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe.
Too.
Yeah, maybe you can go in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a mood,
I guess.
Are there any cool like replays of crashes?
Yes, you can replay the entire level as a video, and then you might be able to move the camera around. There's no achievement for that, so I didn't play with it too much. I think I accidentally did that a couple times when I was trying to progress to the next the next race. Yeah, I was trying to replay the level, and it uses that terminology to be watch what you just did, and I quickly learned not to do that.
Okay. All right. So Wreckfest looks like an excellent time if you're into smashing cars. Looks like it has a healthy Game Pass ratio bump for sure. It's at over 3,000 TAD.
Oh yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who have completed it, so I'm thinking it's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's 20 to 25 hours, but
to me that sounds like a lot, but to some that play it's not so bad, I guess.
Well, I'm looking at a lot of these people and they've put in more time than they need to. Some people have put in 100 some hours.
Just like the
doesn't
game.
seem to be necessary.
Are they playing for
They might be playing for fun, yeah. But then I see people with the full Gamerscore going about 25. So maybe that 25 is accurate.
Yeah, well, we've had enough of playing for fun with Wreckfest. So that means we need to move on to Wild West and see what he's been playing.
All right. Well, I have been playing some nice Gamerscore games for a certain challenge that I will not discuss because I'm not allowed to.
You can.
No, you got it. So I was going through different games that I had. I've been going through looking at some ones that of the ones that I liked so far, which haven't been too many of them. But the one that I have enjoyed the most this month has been a Fold Apart. I don't know if you guys have talked about this one before on the panel, but this was a game that I really have enjoyed going through for Chewy's Challenge this month. This came out in 2020 in May by Lightning Rod Games, and it is a nice personal. I think it was one guy that did it, if I remember right, from what he said on the end credits or something. The credits. I think it was one guy that did it. I think it took him 5 years, is what he said, to make it. So it took him a long time. And you put a lot of effort into it, and it really shows because it's a nice little puzzle game that runs you. If you're going just for achievements, you could probably get it done in less than an hour. But if you want to do the story and kind of experience what has happened, it'll be about 2 to 3 hours. As you saw at the beginning, you get to choose kind of what story you want to tell. You have 4 options. You can do 2 versions of a girl and a guy, or you can do 2 versions of two girls. So you get an option of how you want your story to go. And what happens is you got these 2 main characters like on the screen. They end up parting for what they think is just going to be something kind of short. The blue guy or girl has a job that they are going to do, and so they're kind of separated, and they think, oh, it's just going to be a temporary thing. And then through the text messages and the story, you kind of figure out that this job is going to be a little bit longer than they thought, and it's going to be a little bit harder than they thought because the blue guy likes his job a lot, and he thinks he deserves to, after struggling to keep working at his job. And then the red girl, really likes what she does. So basically, both of them don't want to move, and they both like what they do. So it's kind of hard to figure out, and they're kind of starting to lose a little bit of their love. So what you'll see here, Koosh, if you want to go a little bit further, we can get into the puzzles. You'll kind of see what the actual gameplay is like. And so what you do is you kind of go down here you go. So you go down a linear path, and you kind of grab. It's kind of like each book or each puzzle is a page, and you'll kind of grab the pages and move it along. Fold the pages up. You can pull the corners later on. You can switch the page back and forth, and then as you do that, you can move the character along this path, and then get them to the star, which will finish up that specific page, and then you'll continue on the linear path further in the level. I believe there is. Let me check real fast. I believe there's 6 chapters, and they're not very long. Each one kind of takes the focus of just one of the main characters. So you'll see there's the star there. So they wrap the page around. So you want to try to get to the star at the end of the level, and once you do this, he needs to pull it a little bit further. There you go, and snap the page in. You'll get that, and then you'll see the next part of the level come, and you'll continue on with the level. So you'll do this about 4 times, I think, on average, until you get to the end of the chapter, and then usually you'll switch perspectives to the other person and go from there. I really like the story. This is a heavy story game, so if you get involved in the story and you like it, I think you'll really enjoy this game. It's kind of what you'd call heart-wrenching, as they're both kind of missing each other and forgetting their love for each other. The puzzles get a little bit harder towards the end of the game as you're trying to not only fold stuff, but you'll pull the corners down, you'll be flipping it back and forth. You'll start having to climb up little boxes and stuff like that. So it does get a little bit more difficult as it goes on. But I do love puzzle games, and so I had a lot of fun with it. Now, I know we are all here for achievements, so I don't know if they will show it in this gameplay, but during any of the pages, you can, once you get to a level, you can hit the Y button, and it will show you how to do that next
right.
section of the game. What's that?
Yeah, I said that's right. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, so you can, if you want, you don't even have to do any of the puzzles if you don't want to. You could, if you want to just go straight for Gamerscore, you can just go along the linear path, get to the page like you're seeing here. You can hit Y button. It'll tell you, do you want to use a hint? And you just keep hitting the A button, I believe it is, and then just go on to that. I didn't do that until the end of the game when some of the puzzles were getting kind of hard, and I was getting tired. I think I finished it pretty late at night, and so I was getting tired. But I did try to solve them, most of them by myself, as you're trying to see here. You can see how you're trying to move different levels. You're trying to flip the page back and forth to drop stuff. So it does get a little intense. You can't get past those little, I don't know, post boxes or whatever those obstacles are on screen. You can't get past those. So you kind of have to flip the pages around and to get to the end of the level. But if you really want to, you can just use hints and get to the end of the game quickly. They did add a free title update. I believe it's free. I don't remember buying it, but I think they added a title update that adds 100. I think it's just 100 extra achievements. I think it's 1,100 total Gamerscore. So it's 2 bonus chapters, and those kind of just are kind of an epilogue to the story and everything. But it's a fun game. It goes on sale often. I would recommend it at full price of $9.99 just because of the hard work I feel like the developer put into it. He made a nice personal story that I think is really good. But it does go on sale often, and I believe the cheapest price was $2.49, which is well worth it at that price. So if you guys see it on sale, put it on your price watch. It's a fun puzzle game. You can make it as easy as you want to. So
now it looks like you're able to choose different dialogue options.
not really. That kind of just autofills the phone. It's really just kind of continuing a story, and you're kind of getting some backstory there. But you can do a little bit there, I guess, but
there is. Yeah.
It's not like a RPG where you
Not
got
gonna
4 or
change
5
anything, but
choices.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This gives me. Have you played It Takes Two?
I know it. I haven't done it yet.
I get that vibe from it. I mean, thematically, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I just felt like there was just something about the art and like what's
I could
going
see
on. I know it's very
To
different
quote you.
games, but yeah.
I could see the relationship with It Takes Two. About relationships, yeah. So yeah, Jameson, I actually talked about this on the panel, believe it or not. I looks like I did this back in September.
Okay.
And I remember getting pretty close to the end of the game without realizing you could do that little cheat. So I'm glad I didn't know, because I had fun solving them myself, and you feel smart, and
Yeah.
it's fun to solve puzzles on your own, right? That's why we play puzzle games.
I was the same way. I didn't really realize it until I was trying to figure out, because I was trying to work on this puzzle towards the end of the game, and I was like, I was trying to figure out how to flip the page and corners and all this stuff, and then I was just like, okay, I just need to look at a video real fast, and the video I looked at ended up showing the hint stuff, and I was like, oh, that's not makes it a little bit less fun to do it personally if you're just going straight for Gamerscore.
Like, I don't even know why they do that. I guess that's a new thing, is accessibility. Try to get everyone able to do anything, right? But
yeah,
I think it's a little much.
Yeah.
To have that option. I would rather they give you a little hint than just say, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
But I remember enjoying that one as well. Nice little indie puzzle game, A Fold Apart.
Yep.
Okay, Proulx. Will you provide us with your game showcase?
I sure will. And I wanted to. I know Koosh comes on here a lot. He likes to talk about those indie games.
He does.
And Wildwest just mentioned, his indie game, and I'm like, I want to do a nice little something. Maybe people aren't aware of. Maybe they're just not familiar with this game. But no, that's obviously not going to be.
Probably not.
It's probably not going to be very likely. But I'm going to be talking about, maybe the biggest game ever, GTA 5. For a couple of reasons. I'm gonna sort of match this into my own little brag camp, because I now have, I don't know why, I got a what do they say, a bee in my bonnet, I got a bug in my shoe, I got a whatever you say, I just got the itch. I got the itch to complete all of the incomplete versions of the game. So I now have all 4 versions of GTA 5 complete on my tag. And I started when the first one came out in 2013, September 2013. And I did. I completed the mini series with the one I started with, which was the 360 version. Which, oh God, does that game run like garbage on the 360? That game came out way too late in that life cycle. But not too much to say. The only other reason I wanted to bring it up was because you guys mentioned it on the show here a few months ago, or maybe even a little bit longer than that. But there was some confusion on how the progression went from version to version, and I can kind of clear that up here as best I can from memory. But I will say I would not have got these games complete were it not for my co-op buddies who played the game with me, including Old Man Thug, who played with. Nope, not you. This was not you. You had nothing to do with this.
This isn't Watch Dogs.
Yes, this is not Watch Dogs.
I'm sorry, I got confused.
So Old Man Fug, Crandy, and Crandy's buddy Gatorade. We were all we played this game for years, really. Honestly, probably years. Yeah.
You're friends with a famous drink with electrolyte?
Believe it or not, yeah. That's actually it's a
Wow.
little mispronunciation, but I get that all the time. So in any case, how it worked originally was the 360 version came out, and then you could export your 360 version progress to the one. And I think it was synchronous. I'm pretty sure you didn't have to oh God, I can't remember. It's been so long now. At this point, half the 360 version shut down. All the online stuff is completely unobtainable. So fortunately, I had already done all that stuff. Once you move it into the one, you can then also transfer your progress into the series version. And there is also a Japanese Xbox One version, which will take your online save, so you don't have to do all the online achievements, but you still have to play through the story and get all the collectibles and all that sort of stuff. So there are 4 different versions. Like I said, you can't do the 360 version to completion anymore, but you can play the rest. I just wanted to clear that up since we were talking about it. Also, a little bit of a brag because the online stuff for the Xbox One series version is actually really tough. You have to put a lot of time into it and be really good at the game. Masterminds is still like 2 of my highest rated achievements in TA. So it was I don't know. God, I can't even tell you. Maybe 500 hours across all 4 versions, if I had to guess. Quick telling up in my head. So I'm done with them. I'm never going to play GTA 5 again, which is fine with me. And I guess bring on Florida Man in GTA 6.
If I remember correctly, part of the reason Mastermind was so difficult was because of how buggy it was, with the network code.
I don't remember. I don't remember like that ever being an issue. Not to say that it never was, because we played all those harder heists much later on from release, and I know that the release of the GTA Online stuff was really rocky. So that's definitely a possibility, but I don't think we could have, but we played it in 2017 or whatever, and it's been a long time since then. So there could have been lag and server issues, but it doesn't stick out in my memory at all.
Yeah, I think he was talking about it. I don't think it was Crandy. It's possible. It's possible that if one person dropped, or if one connection dropped, you basically had to do it all over again. Is that
again right? That definitely could be a thing. That was a thing, but there's no way you could do it without 4 people, anyways. So if one person dropped, it's like that's kind of an instant restart, anyways. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun, even though it was a lot of time, a really big time investment. But I am happy to just sort of be done with it, put it away. I got a lot of gigs back on my hard drive from all these different uninstalls I got to do, because they were each 90 gigs or whatever it was at that point. So very happy to be done with it. And that's what I played. I've been playing that for like the past month. The 2 versions that I just finished, which were
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Somebody in the chat says you are not allowed to uninstall your game.
Word. Don't have the disc anymore. Sorry, Pug.
Finish the game. Throw the disc out the window. I'm done.
It's so funny. Just because he said that, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Fug and I were playing because the 360 online progress was going down, the transfer to the Xbox One version. Fug and I were playing on the last day possible, and because we're procrastinators, and we were playing together. And somehow we got disconnected right as we were finishing up one of the last missions, and I got thrown into some random game, and suddenly all these achievements started popping, and I'm like, oh, this is great, this is super awesome. And Fug's like, I have no, I didn't get credit for what we did, and also I'm not getting free achievements, so I don't know what's going on. So that's kind of what he's talking about there. But anyways, that's GTA 5.
Yeah, I procrastinated too because they released. I've only done the 360 version, but when they announced the servers were going down, and I was like, up until then, I was like, I'm never going back and doing the heist. I've got my 1000G. It took forever just to do the leveling stuff because I just was not ready for that. But then when they did announced it, I ended up getting the leveling. I ended up getting the heist done, and I was helping some people here in the Discord trying to get their 360 heists done before then, and a lot of them got it, but some of them just waited too long. We just kept getting disconnected on halfway through the mission. Towards the end of the mission, it was just not a great experience there, but it was fun working with them, but just the online connectivity was not great at all.
Yeah, there was a way to God, again, my memory is fuzzy on all of this, but there was a way to there's some multiplayer stuff that you could only do in a public lobby, and there was ways to kick everybody out of the lobby, and just sort of force your own private lobby in a public lobby. But that all that has escaped me now. I don't remember exactly how to do it. But what about you, Al? What have you been playing?
Glad you asked. So, not to bury the lead. Yeah, I talked last week about how Chewie decided to ruffle some Wookiee feathers, and we started a new Gamerscore competition in the contest channel for the month of May. And he split everyone who joined up into 2 teams. And it was also related to Star Wars. So I believe it was the Empire and the Rebels. And basically, you just go all out and score Gamerscore. And I have been playing a few baby games. But
So this is very
what I
different
wanted
from
to
what you
say,
usually play.
I know, it's true.
No,
But I
it
did
isn't.
want to quickly say that my RTTL pulled me some really cool things. You ever put a game down and then you go back and finish it up and you're like, why didn't I just finish this before? I didn't have much left. So that wound up happening with several games. One of them is Creepy Tale, which I've sung the praises of. I really like Creepy Tale. It's a very quick game. You could play it on your PC as well. That's an easy 1K. I had an Artifacts game in there, Noir Chronicles City of Crime. I only had like a half hour left. I banged that out. I got this other game called Repentant, which is very hard for me to say, which is a point and click game. And TA says it's about a half an hour to an hour. I tried to play legit, but the puzzles they got a little convoluted after a while, so I did look up a guide. But I have a question to ask you guys. Have you ever played a game and then you realized when you were done with the game that it was actually a sequel to a game and you had no idea it was a sequel? Because this happened to me.
I don't think so.
So Repentant is about a man who wanders upon a store getting robbed and he wants to um help out, and then the cashier at the store says, "Hey, I recognize you. Didn't you you know aren't you a known wife abuser? Didn't you abuse your wife?" So I thought nothing of it, but hello, that's why the game's called Repentant. He's repenting for this. And after I finished the game, I saw there's another game called Little Kite that came out 2 years prior in 2021 that involves this guy beating his wife, and the review says it's actually pretty graphic. So it got me thinking because usually when you play games you don't want to see this type of thing. But when you go to the movies, that the violence and this kind of stuff is commonplace. So on one hand, I kind of want to play it because I played the sequel, but on the other hand, I don't really want to see crazy graphic violence like this. Wife beating and your child screaming while this is going on. Sounds horrible. So this is kind of a side tangent I had. Just curious your thoughts on this type of stuff in video games. Does it bother you, or would you avoid this, or is this just part of life and it's whatever? But I would say I try to avoid this type of stuff and play video games to escape real life bad stuff. Any thoughts there, Proulx?
I mean, you play Mortal Kombat, right? Or
that's not very realistic. I'm talking about
okay,
realistic.
so okay, or
I don't think
Unless you just go around ripping hearts out of chests.
I
so.
mean, I do that. Well, you do that too in your job.
Yeah.
the first thing that popped actually in my mind was No Russian from Call of Duty, but yeah, I mean, I guess I see what you're saying, like smaller.
Okay, war counts.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, like
Realistic depiction of violence, sure.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is, are you differentiating between some types of violence and others?
I guess so.
Yeah. So I don't know what that line is for you. For me, like I wouldn't play a game, I guess, specifically for that reason, but I also wouldn't avoid it for that reason either. So
that sounds fair. Koosh, you here?
I am. I'm reminded of a game called Manhunt.
Oh.
Is that the shark one?
No.
Well, that's a man eater.
Oh, that's man eater. Okay. Manhunt was like a snuff film type thing. There were like weird cameras in like this building, and it was just like murder videos. And you were just going around killing people, beating people with baseball bats and I don't know, broken bottles and stuff like that. I remember it being really graphic at the time. I mean, it's probably like horribly splotchy pixels today. But I remember playing that back in the day and not saying, "Oh, this is great." I want to show everyone this game, but I mean, I didn't hate the game. Would I play it today? Probably not. Probably not. Like I wouldn't go out and go play Postal either. Postal was a big graphic shoot 'em up at a post office, and I just don't. I seem to like these colorful games. I don't know if you've noticed. These colorful cozy games,
very cozy games.
Where I've gravitated. Maybe it was the Manhunt effect. I don't know.
Jables in chat is saying they had a Wii version, and you did the motion of stabbing someone, I guess with the Wiimote, in the neck for a kill.
Oh, Nintendo, you're so cute.
This is the same Nintendo that took blood out of Mortal Kombat in the 90s. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, that leads me to my game showcase game that Koosh is going to put on the screen here. And I have to say that this is the most...
Oh my gosh.
This game is probably the most blatant, embarrassing achievement game you could play. Proulx, do you know what this is?
I don't. I mean, there's a cat.
There is a cat.
That's all there is a cat.
This is called Aabs Animals.
Cat on a Grid?
Is
that what it's called?
Yeah. So this game, you literally press start or A to start it up, and then you sit there and do nothing. You can move the camera around the left and the right stick, and that is it. You cannot interact with the cat. You cannot pet the cat. Occasionally, the cat will meow, as you see in the video. It's honestly not even a cute cat. It's just a cat.
I mean, his ears are cute. I'll give him cute ears. He's got that. Wait a minute. Are you saying you just get all the achievements for just sitting there? How long does it take?
Yes. I think around 10 minutes.
The achievements are literally for watching for so many minutes.
Oh wait, he's falling asleep.
But it's in seconds.
In seconds. Play
it's
for
too hard to
seconds.
watch. Somebody watch me. I'm tired. Up and I'm dead.
I guess my problem is. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the game has the nerve for having a random achievement scores also 137 gamer score.
Oh, jeez.
And then the amount of seconds to play is very arbitrary. 452, 589, 726, and all the way up to 1,000 seconds. You divide that by 60 and you get something. So I was reminded of P-Tart because the achievement called Pretty. But yes. The chat's making fun of me for playing this. I don't care. I mean, this was specifically for Gamerscore for May contest, and it showed up on my RTDL, so it was a double whammy. It's perfect.
Is it free?
No.
Oh no.
No.
It should
No.
be.
This is a $70 game.
Certainly not.
No way. It's $70. I'd buy that for one.
The deluxe version is 100.
Yeah.
And he bought it day
Comes
one.
with comes with kitty litter.
Said you kitty
No,
poop.
they talked about removing this game, and I don't think they ever did.
Yeah.
It's $10.
Still purchasable
Yeah,
for $10.
it's never been on sale.
I'm concerned that there was no development on this at all. Like, this person just bought the cat. And
They created the cat.
and I don't even think they. Maybe it's just okay. I don't know. I haven't seen anything more than this, but I mean, it's a cute cat. I'll give it that. Oh, wait, are there like other games? Is there like
the backgrounds? It
I mean,
looks
there
like,
should
Mario.
be, right?
Is
This
there
is
like
Aabs
otter
Animals,
game that
not
has...
Aabs Cats.
You would think that you could press pause and you get a dog or an otter or something. But yeah, for $10 you can get and if you just want Gamerscore for $10, you can get way better value.
No, you're thinking of Seasons After the Fall or something, J Block.
I like that game.
Or One Step After the Fall or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't Seasons. Seasons was a good game.
Oh, okay.
That was a good game.
It's like something after the fall. One Step or
That video, by the way, is 16 minutes long.
One, I know what you're talking about. One After Fall. Yes. I know what you're talking about. That one they did remove.
Well, they removed just some of the language stacks. That's it. You can get the English one, the PC one.
One step after. Yes. Mike Pitch chimed in one step after fall because he bought them all with his big points, I'm sure. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, so Aabs Animals. It's my new favorite game. And I need to be, I guess, repentant for playing it. Tie that all together.
Did you watch the cat the whole time at least?
I did, actually. I played with the camera. And if you zoom in, you could zoom in and break the camera and go through the animal. Yeah, you found a very tame video, Koosh. Most of the
It
videos
doesn't
there
show the
were
whole
great.
action, the whole...
Yeah, you don't see what's going on. Yeah, I didn't even show this game to my daughter, who's a cat lover. This is how embarrassing this was. She probably say, "How do you do stuff with it?" And you're like, "You can't." The description of the game says, "Aabs Animals is an animal entertainment content. There is no clear or game over. Love animal. Watching without operation. Play around with it as you wish. Aabs Animals will continue to grow with future updates." Oh, please no. Subtitles are in simple English words only. So the developer, I don't know.
So you're saying you sat there for 16 minutes?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I just want to know what you named the cat then. No way you sat there for 16 minutes circling the cat.
I'm not going to name a cat because I'm not going to name anything because if it dies, I'll be sad.
Well, apparently this one can't die.
You didn't watch it long enough to see if it died or not.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, what was that DS game? Nintendogs.
Yeah.
That was fun. You turn that on after a while, and you're like, dog's mad at you. Yeah, so on TA, this game has a pretty respectable 2.14 out of 5 voting. Who's voting? Who's voting for this game more than a 0? I will probably give it a 5 out of irony. And there's also 60 or so gamers that do not have the full completion. Probably Fug. Seems pretty hard for him.
They can watch it for 5 seconds, but 16 minutes.
The power go out, or did something crash, or there's got to be like or somebody just thinks it's fun, right? That's got to be the reason.
Probably just something stupid like streak preservation. Who would do that?
Did they forget to turn on the assist modes? Maybe I don't know.
I think so. Nerdy Neo thinks that DLC is going to include being able to pet the cat. If that's the case and they had achievements, I'm all in, buddy. All in.
I know. I'm just waiting for Aabs Animals 2. You could pet something else. Or watch something else.
The cat should be able to do crunches. And then it has abs. You see? Joke went over your head. No gym rats here. Achievement hunting 101.
What are you talking
Only
about?
gym cats.
I go to the gym every day.
Oh, yeah?
I do.
Gym cat.
They have a really nice smoothie bar.
No smoothie bar at my gym.
My gym actually gives out Tootsie Rolls. I think they're onto something.
It's probably pretty smart. Just keep giving them out candy for free.
That's right. Exactly. All year long. Okay, that was Aabs Animals. And there are 3,133 completions of this $10 game where you do nothing.
Really? I thought it'd be higher. Seems kind of low to me.
I think if it was $5, it would be way higher. If it was $2, there'd be a lot.
What if it was in Game Pass?
Oh.
Then it would probably have a 2.4 ratio.
It'd probably be the most played and completed game ever.
Yes. Mommy. Look at the kitty.
You're not playing Aabs Animals
That's a
for
stupid
Tad,
title.
Neo.
Like it's a terrible title.
Yeah, did the developer just think that this was like one of those Yellow Pages things where you turn on the games and it's like because it's AA, it's right at the beginning? Oh man.
That's what I would do. It's brilliant. I love that idea.
Well,
Maybe it's not as bad a title.
It's kind of funny now because you don't really see Yellow Pages around, but I'll drive around and you'll still see like the AA Apple muffler stores and stuff like that are still out there, but you can't really see them in the front of the Yellow Pages because there's not really Yellow Pages anymore.
Every once in a while I come across a payphone and I pick it up to see if there's a dial tone, and there never is. It's disappointing. Every time.
Who are you going to call? Do you know anybody's number?
By heart?
Yeah.
I don't even know my parents' cell phone. No. I remember all our old house phones because you had to memorize those back in the day.
Don't call those people. They
No,
won't.
no.
They won't know who you are or like you.
I'm going to call everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. And which, of course, leads us to sales. Koosh, got any balls open? Oh, I mean tabs?
I do have some tabs open. Speaking of cats, there's Cat Quest 2, a game where you actually have to play it. It's $3.75, down from $15. It's an action role-playing game, role-playing open world, 10 to 12 hours of cats frolicking with swords. And there is a walkthrough on TA. I've been listening to a couple podcasts, and they're excited for Cat's Quest 3. And the person who was talking about it said, Cat's Quest 2 is actually a really good game. And it goes on sale all the time. And hey, now it's one of those times. I went ahead and picked this up. I intend to play this and talk about it because I'm very excited for Cat Quest 3. I don't know why, but I am. So I will be playing this at some point in the near future. Next up, Moonrise Fall, $2.50 down from $10. This is an adventure game. I like the art style, but I can't tell what's going on in this game. It's got, I think, a decent rating, but it's from just a few people. Yeah, it's got a 4.75 rating, but only from 4 votes, so it doesn't really mean much. So I'm going to do some more research on that one. Check it out if you're into that. $2.50. That's a pretty good price. And lastly, Minute, also at $2.50, down from $10. This is an action adventure game, 2 to 3 hours. It was in Game Pass, and it's basically Zelda meets Groundhog Day, which is also a Zelda game. But that's neither here nor there. And yeah, it's a great game. Black and white or monotone, and really fun game, really cool concept. And I had a great time with it in Game Pass, and that's a great price if you happen to miss it or just didn't get around to it at the time.
Yeah, Minute's great. Highly recommend for sure.
I also recommend Minute. They spelled it weird, but
they did.
They made it their own. I've been called a Minuteman every now and again. I don't know why. Whose turn is it?
It's a good Fallout 4 reference.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I said ball earlier is because I was looking at this easy Gamerscore page article. That's the word I was looking for on TA. And the first game is called Ball Lab. I don't know what the heck this is, but they spelled it, I guess, Ball Lab, and they put the B at the end with the capital B. So I guess you spell it front and back is the same. Ball Lab. Now this game is $1.99 down from $4.99. And this one has 5,000 plus completions, but somehow it has a lower rating than Aabs Animals. It's got 2.09. How is this possible? So people expect better, maybe, for a game you actually have to play? I don't get it. I really don't get it from people who's played Ball Labs.
Oh,
yeah.
Looks like someone.
Ooh, Neo?
The guy to my north.
Hey, Neo, did you just explain the Minuteman joke? Thank you for that. I didn't think the panel understood what I was getting at. And with that said, Wild West, what do you have for sale?
All right, I got a few stuff. We've got Far Cry 4 Gold Edition is $11.54, down from $34.99, and that includes the one DLC, The Valley of the Yetis. So it's a pretty good Far Cry game there, and good price. So if you haven't done it yet, I would definitely recommend it at that price. We talked about the Mafia series a few weeks ago, and it is now on sale. The whole trilogy remastered. It's $19.79, down from $59.99. It's its lowest price ever. So if you are interested in all three of those and want to pick them up together, it's a good price there. We also have Watch Dogs 1 and 2 gold editions that are $13.49, down from $71.99. So that's its lowest price ever, and it includes, I think, all the DLC from what I saw. So if you are a fan of those, I liked both of those games. They're definitely worth checking out. The other one that kind of caught my eye that I'm going to look at is Tribes of Midgard Deluxe Edition. Is $5.99, down from $19.99. It's an action RPG role-playing game with a 3.8 ratio in TA. Doesn't look like it's too long of a completion either, so looks pretty fun, and I'm going to check that one out. And that's what I have.
Okay. And last but not least is Proulx.
Hey, that's me. L, the first one that I put on here is just in honor of you, because for some reason they put no, it's not. They put the original version of Zoo Tycoon on sale. Yeah, it's $6.59, down from $20, and this is not the Ultimate Edition, and it is terrible and doesn't work in co-op at all. The servers are down, right? But they're not like officially down. Like you just can't get into a game.
We couldn't get into the scenarios in co-op. We got into like the regular part, the free play.
In any case, you can't
tried it in several
really.
months,
we haven't tried it in a while, but
you can complete it.
Let's see. Either way,
you said to do scenarios by yourself, and who wants to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, how can I want food to carry me? Either way, it doesn't matter. The original version is on sale for $6.59. So there's the Ultimate Edition, which is better and mostly working. But you can also get the original version as well now. I'm going to recommend Masters of Anima, which is only $1.39, down from $7. Now, This is a game from an ancient lifetime, long, long ago, and a good buddy of mine, Mighty Mango, and I reviewed it back in the Z days. This is a Pikmin-like, which is not really a genre, but I'm just going to say that's what it is because it's basically Pikmin, and it was decent. So I think for $1.50, less than $1.50, honestly, you could do worse. And because I was just looking at these sales, I found out it has a walkthrough on TA now. So I think it's probably worth going back and revisiting. I'm going to go buy it and probably try to clean that up as well. So that's Masters of Anima, $1.40.
You know what the greatest thing Fug ever did? He came up with the team name for you and Mighty Mango.
Our GTSC team, yeah, our GTSC team name, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It takes Proulx to Mango. Yes. It's a really great name.
Yes. And we went all the way that year. Let me tell you, we were.
Yeah, you won.
We won and set
that was
records.
Only 2-man teams that year.
Yeah. It was a 2-man team. It was fun.
They always mix it up.
Yeah. That was back when you could have played Cat Game and got a whole bunch of points for it.
That was back in the day where you had to play like AC and Neo Geo to get good points. Were they even doing tabs then, or is it just Gamerscore? Probably just Gamerscore.
I think it was different. I think it was different at that point. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, it is time for some Game Pass news. Wild West. Anything good coming?
All right, of course there is. If I say anything different, Koosh will have me murdered. All right, out now.
Wow.
Is
with the Wiimote.
I warned him.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that old Wii remote.
Yep.
You're gonna get it.
Out now, we have a Nice Death on cloud, console, and PC. It is a platformer roguelite. We also have the Rewinder on cloud, console, and PC. It is labeled a adventure, puzzle, and pixel graphic game on Steam. Looks like Gamerscore is 2,000 on the Xbox version, which includes the Root of Evil DLC. So you got some hefty Gamerscore there. We also have Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on cloud, console, and PC. It's a third-person shooter platformer, 40 to 50 hour completion. We also have Kona 2 Broom, was just released, and it is cloud, console, and PC. Adventure game, I think I saw about a 10 to 20 hour completion there. Little Kitty, Big City on cloud, console, and PC. Adventure game, is that out now, Koosh, or is that out when this releases?
It'll be out, yeah. With time travel, it's out now, and the Aabs DLC should be anytime.
Perfect. On May 14th, you get Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Looks like it's not the new one based on the achievement art, but it is a 2 to 3 hour completion, and that is on cloud, console, and PC. So that is what we have coming for the first part of May. Hopefully we'll hear some news soon for the second part. Leaving Game Pass on May 15th, we have Eastern Exorcist on cloud, console, and PC. It is an action-adventure game, 15 to 20 hour. We have Ayuden Chronicle Rising on cloud, console, and PC. Action RPG, role-playing, platformer, 20 to 25 hours, and it has a walkthrough. We also have Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 on cloud, console, and PC. It's a strategy management turn-based game, 25 to 30 hour completion. Ghost Lore is leaving as well on cloud, console, and PC. Action RPG, role-playing, hack-and-slash, dungeon crawler, 50 to 60 hours. Just Cause 4 Reloaded on cloud, console, and PC. Third-person shooter, open world, 60 to 73 hour completion there. Norco is also leaving on cloud, console, and PC. It's an adventure, point and click, 6 to 8 hour. There is a walkthrough in the link, in the forum links if you need some help there. SD Gundam Battle Alliance on cloud, console, and PC. It is a mech hack and slash game, 25 to 30 hours. And then also leaving is Superland 6 Inches Under on cloud, console, and PC. It's a first-person shooter, puzzle, platformer, Metroidvania, 15 to 20 hours.
Droid.
Any comments, Koosh, since you were at the beach last time?
He's going to Wiimote you if you say Metro.
Get the Wii remote. I've been playing. I intend to finish Superland, 6 inches under. And if I have time, I'm going to go back and try to complete Ayuden Chronicle Rising, because I've already started that. I also started Eastern Exorcist, but that game is not great. It's okay, but I don't feel like I need to clean that one up.
Yeah, Elroy talked a little bit about it last week, and I looked at it. That was the only one I really looked at on the list, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Has Elroy ever talked a little bit about anything?
Fair enough.
I don't know. Yeah, Superland. Zavainer. All right, what else do we got going on here? I think it's time to talk about the Gamertag Challenge.
It is. April is over, and our Gamertag Challenge in April was for spelling April Fools. Surprise. And we also had any new achievement or previous completion in a Game Pass game. And then we had a couple fun bonuses. We had genres, so spelling up to 5 TA genres using the first letter of games that aren't in that genre. Then we also had the same picture, which is spelling one genre using only games in that genre. I thought that was fun. We had 12 participants, so maybe not our most participation for an event. We had 9 spelled phrases. We had 9 wildcards used, and we had 89 bonuses turned in. Our high scorers were Scarves with 47 total entries. That was with 5 genres spelled. Then we had Chewy with 58 entries with 2 genres and 2 non-res and 1 genre. And then we had Northern Last with 67 points with 5 non-res and the 1 genre. And our winner, who had 9 letters, 1 wild card, 1 non-ra, and 6 bonuses altogether, is Ben L 72. So congratulations. This
I
want
to. Oh,
go
not
ahead.
that L. Damn it.
No, absolutely not you.
And the L.
And also, you'll never win. The Gamertag Challenge for this month, it is Star Wars month. Our Gamertag Challenge is changed up a little bit. We're not going to do a short phrase. We're also we're going to be spelling a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And we're changing it up this time because that's a lot of letters, a lot of repeats, a lot of vowels. We are going to allow you to use the first letter in achievements or the first letter in games. So we're going with lots of wild cards, and to go along with that theme, any Star Wars game, any achievement in a Star Wars game can be used as wild card as well. So if you're blasting through Star Wars games, this will be really easy. If you've done them all, or as many as you want to, it's a little bit more challenging for you. Because it's such a long phrase, we're not going to require the phrase to be spelled in order to work on the bonuses. And here's what the bonuses are. We're keep the Kessel running. That's completing the Kessel run in 12 parsecs when rounded down by earning 20 Gamerscore achievements. You're getting 1 draw per achievement. And you can only get 1 achievement per game. And then our bonus is more like General Thieves, and that's stealing as many lightsabers of unique color as you can by earning achievements with unique colors in the achievement title. That's 1 draw per unique color, limit 1 per game. So if you happen to find a game that has a bunch of achievements with colors in them, pick the more rare color, obviously, and then go play some other games. So that's your Gamertag Challenge. I guess I should say, if you have any questions, you can go to the Discord. You can go to the Gamertag channel. I believe you have to sign up in role assignment, and you can ask questions there. You can just follow along. And if this month is not for you, we'll be doing something different next month.
No fooling.
Star Trek month is next month. All right.
Never.
That's what I just heard. That's
Never.
just what I heard. Let's go.
Once they put out a good game, maybe.
Oh, God.
No.
It's a better chance of me winning.
He's out of line, but he's right. I mean,
oh my gosh, that game I played. Oh, that one I played that was based on the cartoon.
One time.
Woo. That was tough. I had to force myself.
Was that NES? Atari? All right. And we had a patron drawing And the winner is Hack and Pone. Congrats and thank you for supporting us, Mr. Hack/and/Pone. I get pwned all the time.
Is there a Wiimote gesture for both of those actions?
All right, we're gonna have to add a Wiimote emoji. I think Michelangelo's gonna get it. Bloody Wiimote.
I'm just gonna have to get rid of that last turtle. We'll do it though. Good idea.
Wee machete. Yeah, it's fine. Michelangelo's done skis. Wee machete.
Holding it hostage.
All right, it is time for everyone's favorite milestone roundup, Brag Camp. Proulx, you can read first, my friend.
I will. And I hope everyone is ready for completions. Scarabasi has reached a new milestone of 650 completed games. Ross has reached a new milestone of 1,150 completed games. Thrash Forever has reached a new milestone of 2,550 completed games. And most importantly, because he's right here, Mr. Wildwest has reached a new milestone of 1,050.
Very nice.
In streaks. We have the Fluttery Chicken with no we don't. We'll come back to him. We have Thrash Forever with 850 days. We have Philip Wendell with 1,450 days. We have Wakapel, the Italian gangster, with 3,850 days. We have Sniped by a Girl, currently with 3,850 days. Then we have Firehawk D, 4,150 days, joined by Big L himself, 4,150 days. Celebrating their yearly win streaks, we have Ace with 1 year, and we have Fluttery Chicken. Yeah, he's back with a 4-year achievement win streak.
Ace is the place with the hardware something store.
In Gamerscore, we've got Sincere Seeker 6 with 600,000 Gamerscore, Kingsman 2625 with 850,000 Gamerscore. Also joining Kingsman is Michael KV with 850,000 Gamerscore, MDP 73 with 1.3 million Gamerscore, Vulgar Latin with 1.5 million Gamerscore, Chewy on Ice with 1.5 million Gamerscore, and Junior Mario 2004 with 1.9 million Gamerscore. It's almost like there's a contest going on.
Almost. In leaderboards, Bastion readers in the top 100 at the max possible completion percentage leaderboard for Xbox 360 shoot 'em ups. Domain is in the top 1,000 of the Achievements 1 leaderboard. Dude with the Face is at the top 10,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for collection. I'll read him his lame thing because I feel sorry for him. Junior Mario 2004 is now the top 500 of the Europe Achievements 1 leaderboard. Northern Lass is in the top 500 of the T leaderboard for card and board. And one of my favorite gamer tags, Septic Earl, is now in the top 1,000 of the TA leaderboard.
Where's Septic Toe Jam?
Speaking of Septic, they need do they have any plumbing simulation games? It's like the one thing that would actually be helpful, learn how to do plumbing.
That's in BioShock, I think.
Like a clogged toilet simulator. No one's ever played that, bro. Come on.
Just telling you.
And in Brags, I had a couple of community members tag me this week in the Brag Camp. The first one was Wild West, who has a completion he'd like to tell us about.
Oh, did I?
Oh, don't act like you don't know.
I booted up the fantastic game of Bluey. Game of the year.
It's the GOAT.
2024. And of course, I turn the game on, and my youngest is very into Bluey right now. She's 5, and she just ran from the other room and came just flying onto the couch and was just super excited. I was playing with it, and she was telling me where all the stickers were at. She was telling me about what all the games were, how to play them, and everything. And so we had a fun time.
It's adorable, honestly. It really is. And something like that can get your kid into gaming. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That keeps Koosh into gaming, like random licensed properties. It's like, ooh, shiny.
Waiting for the sequel. Peppa Pig got 2 games. We need another Bluey.
There's no sequel. There's no sequel. Bluey dies at the end also.
Yeah, Bluey is a lot better than
Bluey is, do you?
Bluey is a lot better than that Peppa Pig.
Bluey is the...
You got it. All right. I don't know why I doubted you.
Bluey Tui? Is that the
And with that, the
sequel?
live
I'm
show
not watching
is-
any show. I mean, I am an expert on accents, but I don't know. I can't deal with that. She's from like Russia or something, Bluey. Right?
Close.
I forget. They read right to left. I know that for sure. There's that one episode where they move out and then they go camping. I've seen it. Bluey's sweeping the nation. Still waiting for the Bluey Grand Prix. I still think it's going to happen. You say no, but I say yes. I think it's bigger than Paw Patrol ever was. You're right, Al. Oh, thanks, guys. All right. Thanks for joining us. If you stay after the show, you will be treated to some ducky races in which you can win some monies.
except for Mike. Mike can't win.
Yeah, we might have to ban Mike.
All right. Wild West is the ducky dictator, the DD. We call him Double D. And he says that Mike Pitch cannot win. So just remove him, please. And everyone else, good luck. Thank you for joining us, Proulx.
Thanks for having me.
Star Trek sucks, and class dismissed.
Bye.
See ya.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Game Passible. This is the beginning of May 2024 edition, and of course, this is your home for all the Game Pass goodies and publisher analytics that I like to keep track of and let you know what may or may not be leaving the service in the next couple of months. I am, of course, Fream, and I'm joined by my good friend KooshMoose. How are you doing?
Howdy do. I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I'm excited for some of these new things that are coming and sad about some of these things that are leaving.
Yeah, it's been a rough week, and there's been a lot of stuff going on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump right into it. So, kind of how we've been doing it here is talking about all the games that left the service in the past month. This would have been from mid-April to mid-May. And of these games, there's only a few that I really want to highlight. How did you end up doing on taking care of some of these? Because there was a lot.
Oh my gosh, the bloodbath has begun.
That's
I think
right.
it's just going to be, we're going to see a couple more of these. It's just going to be rough. How did I do? I completed Besiege. That required a little bit of trickery with the PC, but not too bad. Pikuniku finished. My daughter loved that. I was afraid I was going to have to buy it. Luckily, she's forgotten about it, and we've got Little Kitty Big City coming, so I think that'll flush it. That's about it. That's all I was able to squeeze in.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. I did Loot River, Ravenlock. I just finished Fuga Melodies of Steel 2.
Oof.
Pikuniku I did earlier, along with Norco. I already finished earlier. And now I am I just completed the story in Superland. And so I should be finishing that up in the next week. Which, you know, that's pretty good. I missed out on Ghost Lore though. I'm gonna have to buy Ghost Lore.
I dug into Superland. I find that it's unless you've got a guide or something, I find that the signposting is not great. It's not
100%.
Like, in your face.
100%. I've looked up a guide multiple times, and actually even on the final boss area, I thought I sequence broke because I was like, I cannot figure this out. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then I saw one like little thing that I was like, oh, that thing's magnetic or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. And then I solved it. But
I had the exact same thing with an area. I got to a new area and I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. In fact, I had reverted to a checkpoint because, there was a metal thing or a wood pole I could have pulled out, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, for sure.
So the signposting, not great, but it is okay if you give yourself time. This could be frustrating in short.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all stuff that's leaving. And of the things that I want to talk about in Pikuniku is interesting because that's leaving at 50 months. That's 50. It's been in the service forever. It's a Devolver Digital joint. And so what ends up happening now with Devolver Digital is the next longest tenured game is Death's Door at 28 months. So we'll talk about Devolver Digital later because there's a couple of games that are coming up. They tend to hit that 12-month mark is kind of more common, but they're really spread out all over the place, and they put a ton of games in the service. So I just wanted to call out Death's Door at 28 months. Next longest tenured one, maybe the 3-year mark. Could be any time though, really. So we'll see where that one ends up going. 7 Days to Die at the 24-month mark by the Fun Pimps. The only reason this thing is leaving is because they are discontinuing or delisting the console version of this game because the PC version is going to go 1.0. And it's only taken 12 years to get to 1.0, but so there's nothing really to worry about in terms of other games from them. That's just the reason this thing's leaving. We have Eastern Exorcist, which is from Billy, and that's at the 12-month mark. And the reason I call this one out is because I mentioned in a previous episode, Fist, Forge, and Shadow Torch is a Billy title that came out the month after Eastern Exorcist, which means we might lose this thing at the end of May here. So if Fist is on your list to do, get that thing taken care of. Ayuden Chronicles Rising, hitting the 24-month mark from 505 Games. 505 doesn't have anything pending soon. They've got some long life titles in there and some Game Pass core titles. This one was weird that it's leaving because we just got Ayuden Chronicles 100-year, whatever the sequel is. So I thought maybe they'd keep them both in there, but not the case. And then Just Cause 4, 36 months from Square Enix. The only other Square Enix title is the Rise of the Tomb Raider to be concerned about. And that just came in December of 23. So I don't think we have to get too crazy about that. And then Norco, which I've talked about multiple times on this show, it had 2 releases. One was the PC release that's at the 26-month mark, and this current one that's leaving 18-month mark. So I don't know how it, that coincides with whatever they're, however it works. If it's the 18-month and it just so happens to be the 26. But the reason I call this one out is Cassette Beasts. I have this flagged as a high risk item for May here. So between Cassette Beasts and Fist, and I think there's those titles we might lose even just at the end of this month. By the time this comes out, if you listen to it late, it might even be too late. We're finally losing SD Gundam Battle Alliance by Bandai Namco. Lasted 15 months. I think I had this thing locked for a 12-month release, and it lasted an extra 3. The only other Bandai Namco titles that are in the service, we have Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, which was announced for removal in March, but then they renewed the contract because Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, joined the service, which is what I thought was going to happen with Ayuden Chronicles. Did not happen. So of the 2 Ni no Kuni games, March 2025 is probably when we're going to lose those. And then our favorite, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, actually came out before Gundam, and I'm shocked this thing is still here. But I'll talk about it a little bit later because I do have this one flagged now because we're at the 18-month mark now, or coming up on the 18-month mark in July, and nothing from Bandai Namco has survived 18 months. So, again, Koosh, give him your cautionary tale about JoJo's.
It's not great. It's not great.
And then finally, the other games leaving, we talked about Superland, 6 Inches Under by Humble. They have 3 games in the service right now. Mineko's Night Market, which is came out in October, and I do think that one will leave in this upcoming October. While the Iron's Hot was a December release, and I think that'll be gone in December. The one I'm not quite sure on is Coral Island. That came out in 1.0 version in November. So I'm kind of flagging November, but it's one of those management sims, and those tend to survive a little bit longer for whatever reason. I did put 2 other news items in here because they do have a little bit of an impact on Game Pass, and that was the announcement of Take-Two closing 2 of their studios, Intercept Games and Roll7. Now, Intercept Games had Kerbal Space Program, and it's not in the program now, but if you played Kerbal Space Program, the original, for whatever reason, I wanted to take care of that. I don't know what the expectancy of that game is going to be since it lost its studio. But the big one is Rollerdrome. Rollerdrome from Roll7 that came into the service in November, and so that is now closed. These are published through Private Division, which is part of Take-Two, and it was also reported that Private Division suffered layoffs of their own. So if we're concerned about Private Division apart from Rollerdrome, we'd look at The Outer Worlds. That's on Game Pass, published by Private Division. What's weird about that one is that the IP is owned by Microsoft through Obsidian, right? Obsidian Private Division published it from Obsidian, so I don't know how the IP works for that. So just kind of keep an eye on that one. But I think that one's probably safe because of the involvement of Microsoft. Speaking of Microsoft, I assume did this news come out when you guys talked about it on the podcast?
It did, but we didn't talk about it.
Yeah. Microsoft just closed 4 of their studios, which sucks super bad, and they're good studios. 2 of them, aren't a big impact to our way of life, and that's Alpha Dog and Roundhouse. The mobile studio, and then Roundhouse is being absorbed into ZeniMax. They're kind of an online persistent game type studio. But the two big ones, Tango Gameworks gone. And they're the responsible for Hi-Fi Rush, the Evil Within games, and Ghostwire Tokyo. None of those games have, online components to them, and Microsoft, I'm assuming, is going to just take care of that. But one thing to note is Hi-Fi Rush does have licensed music. So depending on how the contracts were written, if they were written via Tango Gameworks, and if they have to rewrite them to get Microsoft, I don't know. But just kind of keep that on the back burner. They did just release Hi-Fi for Switch and PlayStation, so I think that's pretty safe in the service. But letting you guys know, the other is Arcane Austin, big studio. They are responsible for the Dishonored series. There's 3 games in that series? Redfall, of course, Prey, and a Wolfenstein Youngblood was by them, which is apparently the bad one, but whatever. Again, I don't think any of these things are in danger of leaving the service, but the fact that the studio that's responsible for them is no longer alive. We've seen Microsoft products that when you lose the studio responsible, they fall into disrepair and they get glitchy and are unfixable. So, put them on your list sooner than later, just so that you can avoid any of those types of issues. And it's certainly a sad day for the gaming in terms of more studio closures, which absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Not much to talk about in terms of. We mentioned the things in May already, and then June threw a couple of things out there. Actually, before the show, Koosh and I were talking about how busy we're going to be in June if any of these things end up leaving. If I don't know if there are any highlights on here, Koosh, that you want to call out to people that they should get started on early.
Yeah, Fist is kind of it's Metroidvania. It's kind of my jam. I enjoyed it. It is a little bit dense. I don't want to say it's terribly long, but you are going to need to focus on it. And it's one of those things where if you take too much time off, you might forget what you were doing or where you were going.
Yeah. So there's no speed run or anything in that, is there?
No, there's no speed run, which is fantastic. No. Yeah. Then there's Bramble. Mm-hmm. Bramble is a cool limbo-like. Well, I shouldn't say it's cool. It's really dark. It's really dark. But it also has a no death run. So if you don't want to be playing the no death run against the clock, you might want to start that, or you're going to skip it. I don't know. Those are the 2 I'm really, I really enjoyed. McPixel 3 is hilarious, but wacky as anything. I wouldn't want to cram that in. I'd want to chip away at that. And Arcade Paradise, I think, is also another good chip away game.
Yeah. Nope, absolutely. Dordogne is in there, but that's a 3 to 4 hour game, so I'm not super concerned about that. But boy, if you get a bunch of those all piled up,
Oh
it
yeah,
could be a problem.
bloodbath.
Totally. So that was stuff from June, and actually, there's a few bleedovers in that regard. But let's talk about July here. Fairly large list of games. I'm going to call out a bunch of games that only have one, a bunch of publishers that only have one game in the service. So we got Venba, um, The Wandering Village, Tome, Tectonica, Commonhood, Sword and Fairy Together Forever. Those are all 12-month games. We have no history, nothing that we understand there. Venba is a short game, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that one. I think Tome is a short game too.
Relatively, yep.
Yeah. So 2-week window. Those should be okay. Some of the longer ones, Stranded Deep, longer in terms of being in the service. It's been in the service for 18 months, and Torment: Tides of Numenera has been in there for 24 months. And again, those are the only games in the service by those particular developers. So we don't really know what that means or when to expect them. So if anything on that list jumped out at you, probably get to it.
Yeah.
Venba's sweet.
Yeah, I just now realized you weren't calling on me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Venba is short and sweet and cool. Toem is a Zelda-like with the camera. It's good. The other stuff I'm not so. Commonhood, weird.
I looked at it and I did not want.
Yeah, I kind of regret. I'm pretty sure I started that one if it's the one I'm thinking, and I kind of regret that.
Okay, so some other titles that we do not have enough information on, but there is some connectivity to the rest of the greater world. Ashes of the Singularity Escalation. This is hitting the 24-month mark by Stardock, or published by Stardock. The only other title from Stardock left at the 24-month mark, but it was in game preview, this game, Ashes of Singularity, so I don't know if this 24-month clock is the same as the game preview clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm flagging it as like, hey, this is the earliest the 24-month clock might go, but I'm not going to do the research and figure out when it came out of game preview. So I'll let you guys figure that one out. My friend Peppa Pig, Outright Games, the 24-month mark. This is I'm confused by Outright Games because normally these things leave at 12 months, but we still have 4 titles in here that are beyond the 24-month mark. But My Friend Peppa Pig hits the 2-year mark in July. Other titles past the 2-year mark, we've got Ben 10 Power Trip and Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. Both of those at 29 months. Are we thinking 36 months for those? Probably. I'm definitely going to, flag those for you. And then Paw Patrol Grand Prix is at 20 months. And so I think if we lose Peppa Pig at the 24-month mark, I would, raise the alert level for Paw Patrol Grand Prix. And that's kind of a longer arcade racer. I think it's like 20 to 25 hours.
That doesn't sound right, but maybe. I can't remember.
I have it flagged on my list, but I don't know if I can commit that much time to play an arcade racer.
Game. It's not a 4-hour game, I don't believe, but yeah.
No. Skybound Games brought us Escape Academy, hitting the 24-month mark in July. This is the longest title in the service right now. Skybound does have 4 other titles in the service, but Escape Academy is paving its own path. So I'm not quite sure when we're going to lose this one. I've also flagged Ink Ulanati. We talked about this a while back. Daedalic Entertainment is the publisher. This is 18 months now. This did just hit 1.0 at the 1-year mark, essentially, through the game preview program. And all 5 of Daedalic's games left at the 12-month mark. So if 12 months is from when it went 1.0, that would be the January-February timeframe of 2025. But we have seen games where they don't necessarily use that as the goalpost for where you start. So I'm just flagging it, but I do think that one's safe until January of next year at the minimum. Similarly to RoboQuest, It's a game by Rise Up Studios, also hitting its 18-month window here. It is the only title in the service, but the PC and console versions have different release dates, and the PC one has been out for 30 months, and console's hitting 18. So because those two are linked together, one of them, if one of them hits a milestone, it might pull the other one out with it, but we'll see. And then the last one that we don't really have a lot of information on is Figment 2 Creed Valley. This is published by Bedtime Digital Games, hitting the 12-month mark. Now, the first game, Figment 1, just entered the service in January. So Figment 2 might survive past the 12-month mark. But it's also one of those titles that I kind of feel like is probably got a pretty big bullseye on it. So I'm a little concerned about that title. I guess I don't quite know what to expect for that. And then we move right into the 50-50s. Like, I don't have anything that I think is in that, like, a little slightly elevated, but probably safe. I don't have any of those titles for July. But I do have some 50-50s, and there are 2 games alert status for Capcom. Number 1 is Monster Hunter Rise, hitting the 18th month mark. And then we got Exoprimal, hitting the 12-month mark. And Capcom is a 50-50 for stuff leaving at 12 months. And so I'm kind of saying that Monster Hunter, I think, is on borrowed time. I think that thing, I guess Monster Hunter World survived for a decent amount of time. But I don't think there's any big DLC planned for Monster Hunter Rise. Maybe there is, and that's what's prolonging it. And then Exoprimal service game. So this thing does benefit from a large multiplayer base, but I'm just not sure that Game Pass is providing that for them. You finished Exoprimal, right, Koosh?
I did. And I don't know what I would say about a large player base. It doesn't feel like there was a large player base. Felt like initially there was, but as we were grinding it, it didn't seem like they were still sticking with it.
No. So I don't know. I would say that one's probably not long for this world.
Yeah.
And I would flag Exoprimal at the 12-month mark. We then also have Arcade Paradise, which we talked about earlier, from Wired Productions. All 3 of the other titles that Wired Productions published that reached 12 months were gone. So I've got this still at a 50-50, just because I guess I don't know why I have it at a 50-50, because it does seem like a pretty higher probability for that one. But it was kind of one of those borderline titles because I have it in June technically as well. So I think even though I have 50-50 in June and it's, I would say, a higher probability in July, I don't think it's quite the sure bet, but maybe that's just wishful thinking for me because I'm not done with it yet. We talked about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mentioned 18 months from Bandai Namco. Again, 12 months is usually where these things leave. Pac-Man has survived past, but nothing else has survived past 18 months. So I think we're finally going to be rid of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh boy.
and then we've got Insurgency Sandstorm. It's a first-person shooter by Focus Home Interactive, hitting the 12-month mark. 50-50 chance for games by Focus Home Interactive to leave at the 12-month mark, and another 25% chance that they're gone at the 24-month mark. So those are the 2 big, most common times that Focus games leave, and most likely it's going to be that 12-month mark, which is why it's at a 50-50 right now. And then the other one I want to call out is Maquette. Now, I do have this one elevated up to a 75%, a probably gone level. This is from Annapurna Interactive, hitting the 12-month mark. 70% of Annapurna's games leave at 12 months. The only ones that went past were Donut County, What Remains of Edith Finch, and The Outer Wilds. So those are the only 3 titles that survived for past 12 months. I don't think maquette necessarily fits that. It didn't quite have the notoriety that Donut County, Edith Finch, or Outer Wilds had. So I'm guessing this thing doesn't survive the 12-month mark, which I started this one. I don't think it's a long game. One of those first-person puzzle perspective type games. Maybe we'll talk about it in a future installment here.
It's super cool. Like
It is cool.
It'll break your brain. But yeah, I think it's short if you follow a guide, especially a video guide. But yeah, if you actually try the game like yourself before looking for solutions, it will break your brain.
That's good to know. And then here we are with the Devolver Digital block. It's got 3 games that I'm flagging. Broforce Forever, hitting 12 months. I have this one as a 50-50 because I think it's going to be higher in August. It did come out on August 8th, but it's early enough in the month where we might see it leave at the end of July. McPixel 3, I flagged this one in June. It gets elevated for July. I think McPixel 3 is the exact type of game that is a 1 year shelf life. And then the one I do have it at 75% is Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem. And it's hitting the 12-month mark. Now, the only caveat I'll put on that one is that Serious Sam 4 left at 19 months. So that might prolong this one, but I don't think that they're tied enough together for that to be important. Of the 40 games that have gone through the service for Devolver, 35% of them leave at 12 months, 18% of them leave at 18 months, and 10% of them leave at 24 months. And so you add all those up, and those are really the flagpole times for Devolver Digital. And now there's a couple randoms here and there, but we can feel pretty confident that that's where those titles are going to end up falling through the cracks. And I think that's it for what I want to talk about for July. Anything, Koosh, that jumps out at you that you want to touch on, or that you think we need to spend more time on?
Well, just briefly, yeah. Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem a while ago had a discontinued or unattainable achievement. They've since fixed that. So if you had kind of put it off because you're a completionist, it is completable now. So you might want to put that back on your list for consideration, especially since it's only 12 to 15 hours. And those Serious Sam games are just kind of mindless shooting fun. So I like them well enough. I will probably focus on that as we get close to it. But yeah, I think we've talked about most of these before. Broforce, fantastic game. Just that gameplay loop and just like the pick up and put downness of it. It's a great little game. I really hope that people checked it out, even if they had to do it on another tag.
Is it like a run and gun or a twin stick, or what is it?
It's like a run and gun platformer. You've never played a game like it before. I guarantee you. When you die, you switch to a different character. You unlock characters by freeing prisoners, and it's like a exponential. As you unlock like 2 characters, okay, you get a new character. You unlock 4, you get another character. You unlock 8. You get like this, so it just keeps growing and growing how many you have to free before you get that next new character. And each one is a reference to an 80s action star.
Oh, that's right.
80s action series. It's fantastic. If you love those movies, this game is got so much for you with like the inside jokes and stuff. So I really enjoyed it, and I think people should check it out if they're of a certain age.
That's awesome. You know what? Actually, I started up Brotato based on your recommendation the other.
Slightly different.
No, totally. But I just thought of another bro game, and I'm enjoying Brotato quite a bit. And
how long have you played it for now?
Maybe 3-4 hours.
Okay, it does tend to wear. I didn't know that when I first played it and recommended it.
Yeah,
it will wear on you. But if you break it down to the point where you're doing like a character every now and then, or like every time you log in, you do a character, it won't be so bad.
No, you know what it is? It's an excellent meetings game.
That's true.
So if I'm on a Zoom call, I'm doing a little Brotato and listening to people drone on. That is excellent for that.
And if you drop the difficulty, you use those accessibility things, then yeah, it's mindless. You can still focus on your call and complete a run. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I talked about validations today and played Brotato. It was good. It's good stuff. Cool. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the May's installment where we were talking about July's games. And of course, if you missed any of that, I mean, there's a lot of information I throw your way. Hit up ! Game Pass in the AH101 Discord, and it'll give you a link to my Game Pass calendar where we highlight all these games and break this thing all down. Not quite as much detail, but it certainly lists the games names and when and where they came out, so you can at least kind of follow along and look at stuff that could potentially be a concern. But we get to go a little bit more in depth here on the pod. So I think with all of that said and done, it is time for Koosh and I to go play some Diablo. So we will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for listening, and have a fantastic rest of your month. We'll catch you in June.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hello, AH101. This is Nerdy Neo, and it is time for another Vayner summary. So I recently lost my voice, so you'll have to forgive how terrible I sound. For the month of April, there were 9 completions, and the Vayner of the month was the Castlevania Advance Collection, which had the most completions with 2 full completions and 1 story completion. And the second most completed game was Blasphemous 2 with 2 completions. Icefire TN had the most completions in April, again, and he had 4. And Skeptical Mario was in second with 2 completions. Since May is Star Wars month and Jedi Survivor just joined Game Pass, the Vayner of the month for May is Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, either one. And since we just learned that Superland 6 Inches Under is leaving Game Pass, it also got added. It's leaving mid-May, not at the end of the month. So by the time you're hearing this, you'll probably have about a week left to get it done. So, but since that is one of the rules, if a Vayner on Game Pass is leaving, then it automatically gets added to Vayner of the month. So that will also count as Vayner of the month for May. So a couple of notable shout-outs. EMZ Fergie, or Ems Fergie, is in the top 5,000 TA Vayner leaderboard. Icefire is in the top 10 completed games Vayner leaderboard, and also top 5 max possible completion percentage in Vayners. So he has been tearing it up the last couple months. So good job, Icefire. And then Skeptical Mario retook his first place spot on the Vayner TA board. For these scores for the month, for TA in first place was Icefire with 14,495. And second was Skeptical Mario with 3,475. And in third was Ben L72 with 2,162. For Gamerscore earned, in first was Icefire with 6,310. Second was Skeptical Mario with 1,865. And in third was Ben L with 1,360. And lastly, for achievements, in first place was Icefire with 250 achievements. Second was Mario with 76. And in third was Ben L, just behind him with 70. So that does it for May. You got a lot of options for the Vayner of the month, so get any one of those games completed to get the bonus draws for the raffle at the end of the year. And we will talk to you again another month.